This is Chico. It's May 9th, and we're going to do our weekly recap on this video series of selling call options. So this week we'll consider it the first month of May, even though last week there was a partial May to it. And we reset our account back to 40K for those who forgot or who are joining this video series of selling call options. And we had definitely a blowout week. We had a record week, and it was just fantastic. So let me talk about what happened this week. On Monday, we started off with Palantir. I picked Palantir because I thought the upside was kind of more limited, and given all the expectations for the company and the market cap relative to how much they make and the revenue, um, and also how much the implied volatility was, so that which relates to how much the premium is to make it worthwhile. You don't want to make make a penny and risk like so much time and capital on something. So it was good. We made we made good money because after the bell, the stock went down because the quarter wasn't good enough, and then we moved on to AMD. So we bought the contract out for Palantir for a much lower price. To after selling it, we had to buy it back at a lower price. So that was great. We made like a good amount of money on that. It was around 600. And then AMD, we did 3 contracts. Now AMD was reporting earnings on Tuesday, and same deal. I thought the upside was limited, so picked the strike price to sell on that one a little bit closer to where they were at. And sure enough, after earnings, they had a kind of okay quarter, decent quarter, especially for AI. Not There was nothing. They didn't up the forecast for AI or anything. If anything, they got hurt by the export control rules to China. I mean, that was not new news, but they elaborated a little bit more on it, and perhaps that had a drag on them. And so their stock didn't really go. It went up a little bit, went down a little bit, and what have you. So we bought it again. We did the same thing. We bought out the contract. We pocket a big chunk of profits after selling 3 contracts. Then we moved to Carvana. Now I picked Carvana because they were announcing earnings after the bell, and I was expecting a really great quarter, like a good quarter, not really great, but good quarter from Carvana, and and due to the tariffs, and also their business model is working out. They're growing quite significantly, and it's impressive for a company that sells cars. So yeah, the premiums were also very big. So in the strategy here, I didn't want to take any chances, and took a strike price selling for the contract to be sold at much further up than where it was at the present price. I think it was like 305 or 310 we sold it for, the strike price, and we sold 1 contract, and that worked out because after the bell, they had an incredible earnings release, and then they talked up about like how their future is. But seems like they went up by quite a bit, and today actually they fell back down a few percent, 5-6% on their price. So I'm a little surprised. Maybe some money is exiting on that, but it didn't go up any further than what had happened to them, the amount of upside that they experienced. But anyways, yeah. So that was great for us. We bought the contract back out, and then next stock was Cloudflare. Cloudflare was reporting earnings after the bell on Thursday, and so the premiums were good again. And I was expecting that, yeah, there should be some upside to it, but we priced it at 138, and they were like at 123, 124 when we sold the contract. So yeah, they had a great quarter, and a good quarter, I would say, not great, but good quarter. And they I think what was key was they landed some big contract, and that allowed their stock to climb, but they only hit about 133, 134. And so that was great. So I decided to make one more play to go 5 for 5 this week, and that was for Tesla, because Tesla had a pop on Friday, and so close out the deal with CrowdStrike, and by buying the contract back at for pennies. And then we opened one for Tesla for about, I think, 90 cents. And uh, because it was Friday, we played a little bit closer to the strike price. And already with their pop, I was hoping that it didn't go into the money, or if it did, it didn't go to the part where we would lose money. And sure enough, it didn't go into the money, and we're all profits on that. So this week, 5 for 5, it was an incredible week. We made almost like $1,800, and well, again, we have our initial starting value is 40K. So relative to the previous months and weeks, this is the all-time best week we've ever had to do so much. Um, I mean, that's like over 4% of 40K already. And yeah, sure, sometimes you can get lucky on one trade and say, I bought this one stock or did this one play and pushed all the chips in. You did like, you know, I got 10%, 20%. But yeah, what I'm demonstrating to you is consistent success over multiple trades so that uh, you're in control of your destiny, and it's not like sheer luck. Um, so anyways, yeah, I'm really happy about this week, and so we rebuilt our streak, going carrying on streak from last week. I think we're about 5 for 5. No, we are 5 for 5 this week, and I think we were 4 for 4 last week, so we're 9 for 9. So I like to look at these numbers because I like to get a very high number, and then you can decide on what you do if you can master the skill. Um, Previous streak was like 16 for 16 trades from March to April, and then in April our streak got snapped in the third or fourth week. I can't third or fourth week. I think fourth week it got snapped, and yeah, we got hurt by Palantir, and I think it was it Carvana. I have to look back, but that's what happened. But anyways, we've even recouped from that loss, given our gains from last month and also this first week. But hey, the month is not over. We're gonna have to make some more. Hopefully, we'll make some more and blow out, like totally blow out this month. Yeah. So yeah, the key things this week was we took advantage of earnings season. We took advantage of where the stock market was, which was it had a rally back in April, so it came up, and upside was at this point, you know, less likely. You could say I was comfortable with like thinking that there wasn't much more upside unless Donald Trump like really did announce like some spectacular, miraculous deal making, and these deals were good for many countries, which, as you can see, like from what he's been doing, he's just been, in my personal view, buying time and just like trying to stomp out people who are betting against the market, uh, to not to do that so that the market doesn't sink, and it'll hold up to help him like have you know a decent economy so that it doesn't go bad, and it'll be in his name and his fault, and hurt his image. All right, yeah. So this week we had a record week, and I hope you like what you see. And so let's go to the spreadsheet. Okay, let's go over the spreadsheet quickly here to recap this week. So this is from May 5 to the 9th. And on Monday, we did a play on Palantir, 2 contracts at $3. It stock sank the next day, and we closed this out position by buying the contracts back at 5 cents a piece. So total profit, $590. Next, we sold 3 contracts immediately for AMD, $2.01 per contract. And so after earnings, they also didn't go anywhere up north, close to the strike price. Thus, we bought out the contracts to close them out at 37 cents per contract. Profit here, $492. Next was Carvana. We did 1 contract at $296, and after their earnings, they didn't go up that as much as they needed to put us in the red. So we were in the black ink, and we made profit of $215. Cloudflare was up next, 2 contracts at $212, and after earnings the next day, we closed it out at 15 cents per contract to get a profit of $394. And last, we made one more play for Tesla,
one contract, 90 cents, and we let it go into expiration where it wasn't in the money, so it would not get assigned to us, and we made $90, and all that adds up to $1,781.
All right. I hope you like what you saw this week. I hope you were excited as I am. And then the game plan for next week haven't been figured out yet. So you stick around for the next video, and then you can see which direction we'll take. All right. Don't forget to like if you haven't. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss anything. Catch you next time.